At the end of the session, participants are expected to, okay, number 1, understand what social and emotional learning skills are and its significance to learners' interpersonal and intrapersonal relationships, its significance to mental health, and future professional successes. All right? After understanding of the context, participants should be able to appreciate the importance of teaching cell in school and home. And then right after knowing and understanding the concepts and the context, participants should be able to implement effective social and emotional learning skills or activities or intervention program for learners' improved behavior. All right? And last but not the least, participants are expected to utilize practical home-based activities to diagnose social and emotional skills that is needing intervention. Okay?
Excuse me po, Miss. I would like to
Yes.
request po for you to share your screen po. Thank you.
Ay, okay, wait. Wait. For a while. For a while, ha? Alright. Nakikita na siya?
Hindi pa po.
Ayan. Nakikita na?
Yes
Ayan
po.
po.
Pa F5 na lang po. Thank you
Okay.
po.
Thank you for the reminders from time to time. Keep me posted kung ano yung mga hindi ko na gagawin. Ayan. Nasi-share na po. Okay na po ba? Please let me know.
Yes po, ma'am. Pa F5 na lang po.
Okay. Ayan. So,
Ayan
ulitin
po.
natin ha. Thank you so much, ma'am. At the end of the session, again, participants should be able to understand what social and emotional learning skills are and its significance to the learners. All right? And then appreciate the importance of teaching SEL in school and home, implement effective social and emotional learning skills, activities, or intervention program for the learners' improved behavior. And last but not the least, we should be able to utilize practical home-based activities to diagnose social and emotional skills. All right. Now, for educators like me, siguro medyo bago sa pandinig ang tinatawag nating social and emotional learning. Now, para mas maintindihan natin siya, bigyan lang natin ng brief background ang ating mga audience. Ano? Saan ba nanggaling ang tinatawag nating context ng social and emotional learning? So first, i-credit natin si Mr. Albert Bandura, isang psychologist, okay, on his theory of learning. He believes that the theories of classical and operant conditioning is really effective. However, nagdagdag siya ng dalawang important ideas. So first one is responses, the relationship between responses and stimulus. And then the second one is the behavior learned from the environment through the process of observational learning. In other words, according to Mr. Albert Bandura, ang isang bata o isang learner ay natututo mula sa observation. Sino ang kanilang mga ino-observe or most potential powerful influencers? Pwedeng magulang, pwedeng mga kapatid, o kaya naman mga nakikitang characters sa TV. So those behaviors are actually emulated and then ginagaya. Kaya importante ang pag-guide ng mga magulang nang sa gayon, may tatama o may kokorek kung sakali na nagmamanifest ng mga behaviors na medyo hindi natin nagugustuhan kasi baka masanay ang bata, kagaya ng sinasabi ng conditioning, theory of learning, uulit-ulitin niya at uulit-ulitin hanggang sa maging habit. So nagkakaroon siya ng formation ng negative behavior. Okay? Now, i-regard din natin ang theory ni Erik Erikson on psychosocial theory of development. What he believes is personality is developed in series of stages. He described the impact of social experiences across the lifespan. He explained how social interaction and relationships played a role in the development and growth of human beings. And then according to Erik Erikson, we get to experience conflict experiences na tinatawag. So these conflict experiences serves as turning point in development. So either madedevelop ng isang individual o ng isang bata ang sinatawag nating psychological quality, essential skills needed for a strong sense of self. Ibig sabihin, if people deal with conflict successfully, it will serve them best for the rest of their lives. But if they fail to deal with these conflicts, they may not be able to develop the essential skills needed for a strong sense of self. Bigyan din natin ng emphasis naman ang kay Ginoong Lev Vygotsky, yung kanyang cultural theory. He believes that social interaction plays a critical role in children's learning. Through social interactions, children go through a continuous process of learning. And according to Vygotsky, they learn best when they are guided by adults. So to sum up everything, yung tatlong prinsipyo na nabanggit natin coming from famous psychologists, no? What is social and emotional learning is actually a process, a step-by-step procedure or process through which children and young people acquire the knowledge, attitudes, and skills associated with the core ideas of social and emotional competency. Okay. Social emotional learning can be best augmented, all right, o magiging mas effective if we would get to develop self-programs that are set out to explicitly teach a range of skills, including those necessary to, first and foremost, understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and then make responsible decisions. Okay? So kung mapapansin natin sa self-program na yan, the activities or skills that are needed to be developed is giving focus or emphasis on the intra and interpersonal relationship or dimension of the learner. Okay? These skills are then dynamic and interrelated and underpins both personal resilience and healthy relationships. Now, what would be the set goals and objectives na kinakailangan nating maituro sa mga bata? First and foremost, resiliency. And then we need to teach students to feel and show empathy for others, and then establish and maintain positive relationships, and then of course, make responsible actions. So yan ang ating concept. Now, let's get an understanding of social and emotional learning according sa concept coming from Cassell. So titingnan natin yung wheel of competencies. Let's take a look at the diagram. All right. So in here, ang core idea would be social and emotional learning. Social and emotional learning focuses on developing self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and social awareness. All right? Now, let's take a look at the context of the classrooms. Papaano daw natin maituturo ang social and emotional learning within the classroom setting or classroom context. All right, teachers, isasama natin ang social and emotional learning sa curriculum and instructions. All right, pagkatapos naman, sa end ng schools natin, the school concept that is, or context that is, isasama naman sa school-wide practices and policies. Actually, sinasama naman talaga siya doon sa tinatawag nating mga school improvement plans o kaya naman sa annual improvement plan or to check or validate whether or not na-achieve natin ang mga objectives na yan through school-based management activities or program. Alright? And then sa context naman ng homes and communities, so hindi magiging effective si teacher sa pagtuturo ng social and emotional learning skills and competencies unless otherwise mayroong participation ang homes and communities. So i-empower natin at i-encourage natin ang participation ng family at ng ating mga community partnerships and other stakeholders na tinatawag. Alright. Ang sinasabi naman ng mga researchers, katulad ni Matthews, Ridner, and Roberts, effective ang CEL program or ang tinatawag nating social and emotional learning sapagkat ito ay gumagamit ng multimodal programs. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng multimodal programs? Okay. Pag sinabi natin multimodal learning, it suggests that when a number of our senses, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, are being engaged during learning, children understand and remember more. So, ibig sabihin nun, ang visual, auditory, and kinesthetic senses ng bata ay gagamitin natin, i-combine natin, pagsasama-samahin natin siya, and by combining these models, learners experience learning in a variety of ways to create a diverse learning style. Alright? Now, nalaman na natin kung ano ang mga relationships or roles ng school, ng classroom teacher, ng community sa pagtuturo ng social and emotional competencies. This time, let's focus on what core competencies or social and emotional core competencies should be improved, targeted, or developed. So number one, focus, or we must be able to teach self-awareness among our students. This has something to do with identifying and recognizing emotions, accurate self-perception, recognizing strengths and needs and values for self-efficacy. So we are helping students recognize and accept their strengths and weaknesses. Kasi once na malaman nila kung ano ang kanilang strengths and weaknesses, then therefore they would be able to, find ways and means of dealing or managing their own selves, their emotions, no, for self-efficacy. Next focus would be self-management. All right, so in here we are teaching impulse control and stress management, self-motivation, and discipline. Okay, and at the same time, we are teaching them how to achieve goals and organizational skills. Next would be the social awareness competencies. It has something to do with perspective taking, empathy, and then difference recognition. So when we talk about difference recognition, anong ibig sabihin yan? So yung bata, kapag walang gana, walang interest, o kaya naman ay walang kahit na anong interest or motivation, that is, tutulungan natin ang bata na matukoy ang iba't ibang mga dahilan kung bakit o ano ang reason, and then we teach him or her ways and means of finding resolutions. Okay? Respect for others and for others' personal space is also being taught as part of the social awareness competencies. Now, for the relation skills or relationship skills, communication, social engagement, and relationship is being taught. And then building, working cooperatively, negotiation, refusal, and conflict management is also being taught. Now, children needs to know how to help to seek support and help for there are times, lalo na kapag sila ay nasa professional field na, hindi kakayanin ng isang tao lamang na mag-execute ng kahit na anong programs or activities or any other task completely without help coming from support group system. And the last one is teaching students to be socially responsible. Okay, for responsible decision making, we need to teach them problem identification skills and situation analysis, problem solving, evaluation, and reflection, as well as personal, social, and ethical responsibilities. All right, sell across curriculum. What does this mean? When we teach social and emotional learning, po pwede nating i-target ang iba't ibang areas. So for general capabilities, pwede nating ituro ang personal and social capabilities such as self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social management. And then for critical and creative thinking, inquiry, identifying, exploring, and clarifying information and ideas, generating ideas, possibilities, and actions, reflecting on thinking and processes, analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating reasoning. And then of course, ito ang ibig sabihin nito, ito ang magiging set objectives natin in teaching them general capabilities. These would be our guidelines for set objectives or goals to be achieved. Now, for learning areas, ang sample lang natin dito is health and physical education at saka English. Pero po pwede natin yung i-extend or i-integrate sa iba't ibang subjects pa. So ito ay sample lamang at suggestive. Anyhow, po pwede rin naman natin siyang i-modify o dagdagan o i-extend pa. So depende ngayon sa inyong magiging notion kung ano pa ang applicable needs ng isang bata. So for health and physical education target, pwedeng being healthy, safe, and active, communicating and interacting for health and well-being. For English area, pwedeng improvement of speaking and listening, as well as reading and viewing. So again, suggestive ito at pwede pa natin siyang i-expand. Pwede pa rin natin siyang isama doon sa ibang learning areas. Okay. Social and emotional learning in the post-compulsory years, from 18th century siguro, ano ba ang purpose o gamit ng tinatawag nating social and emotional learning? So, ibig sabihin, hindi pa tayo pinapanganak, actually, meron ng social and emotional learning programs. So, ginagamit siya specifically for orientation camps, programs designed to help students manage exam stress, learn relaxation techniques for 20 to 60 minutes. Pwede rin sa home group or pastoral sessions. Ginagamit din siya for career education programs. Part of the school well-being team's response to specific vocational or academic issues or events. And then it is also being used as a source material for creative writing. What else? Aside from creative writing, it is also being used as a regular or one-off element of the English classroom socials during lunchtime or after-school activities. Ginagamit din siya for special days or events as an integral part of their curriculum. So napaka-importante kasi pag nakikita natin na nai-stress ang isang bata, kahit naman ang adult, nangangailangan din niya ng pag-vent out kung paano natin i-release ang mga tensyon na ating nararamdaman para at least makapag-refresh at makapag-work ulit tayo ng ayos. Okay, tingnan natin. What does your school do to promote the general, personal, and social capabilities when it comes to self-awareness, self-management, and social awareness? May ginagawa ba ang ating school? I believe so. Sa mga anong program kaya natin yan nakikita? Self-awareness, social awareness, management, awareness, yan. Saan natin nakikita ang mga program yan? Okay? So for guidance services programs, ginagamit natin yan. And then, ang prefect of discipline ay gumagamit din ng ganyang context kasi inaalam mabuti at inaaral ang isang case kung bakit ang isang bata ay nag-commit ng violation, hindi lang once, twice, or thrice, kundi paulit-ulit. So ginagamit din yan ng mga prefect of this discipline. Student services or pwede rin sa interest clubs na tinatawag o yung extra and co-curricular activities. Ngayon naman sa DepEd at sa mga private institutions din, gumagamit din sila ng mga concepts ito sa tinatawag nating Revitalized Homeroom Guidance Program. Meron din tayong tinatawag na Values Reformation Program or Case Study Analysis. Ang Case Study Analysis, pwedeng gamitin yan for special education, intervention for long-term or short-term goals or objectives of teaching, LSENs or learners with special education needs. O kaya naman, pwede rin gamitin niya ng isang guro na meron siyang napapansin na isang specific student na nagmamanifest ng habitual absentee or tardiness, o kaya naman behaviors, negative behaviors perhaps na hindi acceptable, inaaral mabuti ang background ng bata. And then from there, kung anong magagather na information, gagamitin datos para ma-analyze ng mabuti kung paano matutulungan ng bata na makapagbago, otherwise makapag-perform ng maayos, hindi lamang sa academics. Kasi kapag na-settle natin ang kanyang behavior o nagawa natin ng paraan na matuto siya ng self-awareness or resiliency specifically, makakapag-adjust ang bata. Alright? Saan pa? Mga programs katulad ng leadership, magamit tayo ng mga context niyan sa participation ng mga bata sa mga organizations such as student government, peer facilitators club, what else? Convocations, and then social graces or manners and etiquettes program. Okay. For those who are new, lalo na yung mga na-assign siguro as guidance teachers o kaya kahit hindi guidance teachers, mga teachers per subject area or advisors, nagagamit natin ang social and emotional learning. So hindi tayo dapat na kabahan o matakot kasi ang lahat naman ng ito ay teachable. Again, social and emotional capabilities are actually teachable. All students benefits from being taught social and emotional learning because students' mental health and engagement in learning improves when they are taught SEL. And there are also studies showing that there are evidence-based programs that works best because of the social and emotional learning programs. All right, so one example of the research which shows the benefits of SEL programs, we have the so-called meta-analysis of over 200 primary and secondary SEL programs where participants participated in rigorously designed and well-taught SEL programs compared with students in controlled schools. Ano daw ang mga observed behaviors? All right? More positive social behavior manifested, less risky and less disruptive behavior. And then there is a marked improvement in academic performance with an average 11% gain in academic achievement. All right. How can we identify or how can we craft or create or execute an effective SEL program? Paano din natin malalaman kung very much effective or efficient ang ating SEL program? So here are the things that we need to check. Number one, it addresses a broad range of risk and protective factors. Ano ba yung mga broad range of risk na tinatawag natin? So yung cases of bullying, ano pa? Case yung suicidal tendencies and ideations. So when it addresses a broader range of risk and protective factors, then we can say that our SEL is very much effective. What else? Is uses strengths-based approaches, proactive and developmental approaches, positive that is. It utilizes collaborative teaching strategies, all right? Yung may engagement, working in a group, that means. Engages students in problem solving and critical thinking. It assists students to relate their learning to real life situations. It incorporates messages which supports development of healthy societal norms, and an effective SEL programs are delivered in a longitudinal function. So pag sinabi natin longitudinal function, okay, progressive. Progressive. Okay. How else do we know or understand that our cell is actually effective? It addresses age-appropriate and culture or are age-appropriate and culturally attuned. These are augmented by a broad and ongoing health and well-being curriculum. It targets specific behaviors as well as general life skills. These are located within a positive, inclusive, and participatory school environment. It makes effective use of games, so hindi siya boring. Games as a method to enhance peer relations. It teaches critical thinking and problem-solving skills. And of course, it teaches self-calming strategies. Okay, so since sinabi natin na ito ay gumagamit ng collaborative learning approaches or strategies, okay, here are some examples of collaborative learning strategies central to effective self programs. So we can use role play and simulation. We could use small group problem solving discussions, critical thinking tasks, skills development exercises, and even themed games. These exercises help students to think about the challenges that they may encounter in their lives and develop life skills to cope with challenges or so-called stressors. So these programs are said to be very good programs because it gives students an opportunity to learn and apply their skills and to rehearse for their future. All right. What do teachers need to do to be able to deliver cell programs well? So first and foremost, teachers, we need to understand the educational rationale for the approach. Ano ba ang iyong set goals or objectives? And then second step, we have to be prepared to use collaborative learning tasks such as those mentioned kanina. Next, you should have good engagement with your students. Alright, huwag masyadong stern, paminsan-minsan din, kailangan din natin medyo konting loose. Pero with good sets of restrictions or limitations, then for them to understand that what we are actually doing is also a serious business. And then number 4, we need to use effective and positive classroom management practices. O pwede natin gamitin dyan ang principles ng positive discipline. Alright? Pwede rin natin gamitin for number 4, rewards and punishment din siguro, pero mas maganda yung rewards basta alam lang natin up to what extent natin po pwede gamitin siya. And then, have adequate time to prepare for the lesson. Kasi kung hindi natin siya mabibigyan ng tamang oras, hindi natin ma-anticipate kung ano-ano ang mga resources natin gagamitin at kung paano natin step-by-step procedure or kung paano natin may execute ng maayos ang ating SEL program. All right. Kailan naman natin masasabi na hindi effective ang SEL program natin? All right? Kailan natin masasabi? When fidelity is lost in implementation. Programs are not effective or are less effective when poorly delivered merong omission sa sections, or these are not taught in the spirit of the program. Breakdown is most common in the loss of the interactive or participatory components of the program. So kailan natin masasabi na hindi siya effective? When it comes to fidelity. All right? When the programs are not supported during implementation by effective system policies, there is poor school leadership and perhaps little or no professional training for teachers. So kinakailangan na ma-involve ng malinaw sa system policies pagkatapos i-communicate natin ang mga policies na to sa mga teachers. Ibababa din natin yan sa mga magulang para we could work things out together. Kasi kapag hindi malinaw ang system policies, hindi naintindihan ng teacher kung ano ang kanyang i-implement, so what more can we expect? So hindi magiging effective ang ating SEL program. So bakit sinasabing pag poorly school leadership, kung wala rin namang support at hindi marunong mag-communicate downwards ang ating mga leaders, magkakaroon talaga ng demoralized disposition ng mga teachers kasi yung pakiramdam na hindi sila appreciated at hindi sinusuportahan, definitely magkakaroon yan ng negative impact sa end ng mga teachers. So kailangan work things together, teachers, together with the students, then involve natin sila, parents, and other stakeholders for an effective SEL program. So yung professional training for teachers such as this one, actually prior this discussion, I understand marami nang inatin ng mga webinars sa mga teachers at nakakatuwa na makikita natin, may mga nag-YouTube channel na rin, pinapakita yung mga natutunan nila from the trainings that they earn from different organizations. Okay? Now, research shows that fidelity breakdown is so common that we should anticipate it and plan for it by supporting teachers to use collaborative learning strategies. Okay, how do we build resilience? How do we build resilience? By integrating it with our lesson materials. Although ginagawa na naman ito ng mga teachers kahit sa public school yan or sa private schools, ginagawa na natin lahat yan. So the building resilience materials are informed by a strong evidence base that highlights the elements of effective SEL curricula. The lessons uses a range of collaborative learning activities such as paired sharing, small group problem-solving discussions, scenario-based discussions, skills development exercises, role plays, storytelling, games, experiential activities, and class discussions. All right? So yung experiential activities, ito ang isa sa pinaka-effective din kasi talagang may personal participation at meron talagang collab yan, physical collaboration na makikita sa mga bata kasi by groupings, bibigyan sila ng task, and then bibigyan ng instructions sa may expected output. So collectively, makikita mo pag nag-brainstorm ng mga bata at nag-present, makikita natin kung ano ang effect ng social and emotional learning. All right. Now, there are researchers or findings that suggest that the use of SEL program had positive influence on the teachers' overall teaching techniques and their broader social behavior. Actually, studies conducted in Australia, meron sila mga isineshare ng mga tools or instruments to validate yung findings, no? Na ang SEL program really had a positive influence on teachers' overall teaching techniques. So based from their studies, it has been noted that most of the teachers reported that they had felt they had become more democratic and student-centered in their teaching, more socially skilled and more aware of individuals' needs and problems. Why? Kasi nga, binibigyan natin ng pagkakataon na magkaroon ng involvement ang mga bata. Kasi they get to discover more of themselves when they get to work not only with teachers but with classmates o kaya naman schoolmates o kaya naman pinalabas mo experiential learning, lumabas na community. Hindi nga lang po pwede ngayon kasi nga ito ay pandemic, no? So pero pwedeng virtually by through coordination with LGUs or any key persons or significant persons or support system na makikreate natin, posible pa rin ang tinatawag natin experiential learning. Yun nga lang may restrictions kasi we need to consider yung ating sitwasyon sa ngayon, sa ating new normal setup. Alright? Now let's reflect first. Okay. What practices do you use to enhance your own self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and social management sa end ng teachers? So po pwede kayo mamaya mag-post yan sa chat box kung ano-anong mga practices ang ginagamit nyo dyan. Okay, kasi yung iba, nag-a-attend sa training. Okay, yung iba, retreats para sa end ng teachers ito. Self-management pa paano? So ginagamit ang mga natutunan sa trainings para sa self-management activities. And then, through those trainings, okay, nakakaroon ng social awareness ang bawat isa. And then, nagagamit din ito kung paano mamamanage ang sarili para magkaroon ng pagkakataon to work with colleagues, no, sa mas maayos na pamamaraan. Okay. So these are the useful links na magagamit natin kung sakasakali na kayo ay interested. Alright? There. Alright. Now, let's see. So, ang pinaka-highlight ng ating discussion. There are practical assessment tools to be used. Okay? Para ma-assess natin kung ano-ano ang social and emotional learning needs ng mga bata. Okay. Pagka kasi gagamit tayo ng assessment tools, lalo na kapag ito ay standardized, medyo mahal. Hindi lang siya hundreds. Talagang it would be very costly sa budget, no, natin sa school kung sakasakali. We would be opting for standardized assessment tools or diagnostic tools na tinatawag. No? Medyo costly siya. Alright? And at the same time, hindi lahat tayo ay pwedeng mag-access sa standardized assessment tools na tinatawag. Only those who are licensed, no? Tsaka legally acknowledged na sila ay pwedeng mag-conduct or mag-share. Actually, hindi mag-share, kundi mag-administer ng standardized assessment tools. Ang pwede lamang magbigay nito or mag-conduct sa ating schools. So may mga coordinations tayo kinakailangan gawin bago natin i-implement yung tinatawag nating standardized assessment or diagnosis na tinatawag. Okay? So sino-sino yung mga licensed professionals na yan? Pwede ba mga licensed psychologists, mga psychometricians could help, mga licensed guidance counselors, developmental pediatricians, clinical psychiatrists. Those are some. Okay, so kung interested to know more about it, so pwede naman tayong makipag-coordinate later on para at least mabigyan ng mga contact persons kung sino po pwede ninyong lapitan para doon sa standardized assessment tools na sinasabi. Okay? Now, going back doon sa aking neat part na tinatawag, practical assessment tools na po pwede natin gamitin para ma-identify natin or magkaroon tayo ng working diagnosis na gagamitin natin for documentation at analysis ng ating mga recorded behaviors na dapat natin bigyan ng SEL program or intervention. So common to observation. Okay? Magagawa ba ang observation sa panahon ng COVID pandemic? Yes, it is very much possible. Kasi pag nag-check ka ng attendance, kung nakalagay sa master list ni teacher ay 40, ang umattend lamang ay 25, that is something. Alright? That is something. Okay, so pinagbigyan natin. For the next day, ina-expect mo ay 40. Ang umattend ay 30. Oh, that is something again kasi may nadagdag na mga participants. So perhaps meron ka nang ginawang pamamaraan, in-identify mo na through that attendance, observation, yung physical, checking of attendance sa mga Zoom meetings natin o kaya naman sa kung ano man ang apps na gagamitin nyo for you to be able to meet up with your advisees or advisory classes. Okay? So pag nakita mo na nawawala si Juan ng 2 araw o bakit siya na-late sa inyong klase, tatanungin natin siya. Pero privately muna. Kasi hindi naman natin po pwedeng i-correct ng bata kahit na nasa Zoom meeting yan bluntly kasi nakikita ang ating facial expressions maririnig ang tone of voice, no? Mahirap din naman na may kahihiyan din tinatawag ang mga bata. So ipi-PM natin ngayon yan. Private message send. Okay, tatanungin. Bakit ka hindi o bakit ka late sa Zoom classes? Pwedeng sagot. Kasi po ma'am, pinagwalis ako ng nanay ko. Nangyayari ba yan? Nangyayari yan sa totoong buhay. Pwede hindi pa nag-aalmusal o kaya naman tinanghali ng gising. So that is one form of observation. So i-record mo ngayon yan sa teacher. Kailangan lagi ka rin may notebook. Hindi porket COVID tayo, hindi na natin bibigyan ng pansin ang pagre-record ng mga notes as to why and how our students are actually not attending our classes, or if they are actually attending our classes, bakit sila nalilate sa pag-attend ng Zoom classes. So, bawal ang judgmental, ika nga. I-note natin kung anong reasons for specified cases. Okay, so observation. Alright, next, interview. Posible ba ang interview assessment? Posible. Posible yan dahil aside from the private message sent, pwede tayong magtanong doon sa kaklase, PM din natin sila, o kaya naman doon sa latter part, pag chinek natin ang ating schedule or program, yung 1 to 3, pwede natin ipasok doon actually ang pag-reach out doon sa mga bata kung bakit hindi pumasok, bakit na late, o kaya naman bakit included siya doon sa klase mo pero hindi siya nag-a-attend. Alright? Paano pa natin po pwedeng gawin ang interview? O di magtanong tayo sa mga kaibigan o kaklase. O kaya doon sa mga kapitbahay. Kasi I understand, doon sa ating social media account, meron tayong mga friends, no? O yung iba, may mga friends na kapitbahay, kakilala, kaibigan, kaklase, nung ating mga estudyante. So from there, nag-i-interview ka, ino-note mo ulit kung ano ang mga reasons as to why and how ang bata ay hindi nakaka-attend ng klase natin, virtual na nga siya, o kaya naman ay ba't hindi nakakakuha ng modules, o kaya naman ay bakit hindi nakaka-comply. So interviewin natin. Okay? I just wanted to share para meron kasing nabalita na nabalita ba siya o nag-pass siya kasi sa newsfeed ko na meron doong video na ipinapakita ang bata nag-breakdown kasi hindi siya ata nakapag-submit agad ng requirements ni teacher. Okay? O, tatanungin natin ang bata, bakit hindi siya nakapag-submit? Good thing lang doon na pansin natin na ang teacher ay very much considerable naman. So sa tayong mga teachers, kung minsan, basta para sa mga estudyante, no, bibigyan natin sila ng pagkakataon din na makapagpaliwanag. But if there would be a need for correction, kung meron tayong correction, kailangan natin i-correct din sila. At alam din nila ang restrictions. Kasi kapag hindi natin yun ginawa, ay definitely magkakaroon tayo ng problema. Okay, so interview plays a very much practical role, significant role para tayo makapag-assess ng behavioral needs o kaya naman ng intervention program sa ating mga estudyante. Alright, next. Modified forms, records, inventory, cumulative anecdotal record scale, checklist, or freaks. So mayroong mga magre-react siguro, magagawa po ba namin magkaroon pa kami ng freaks or modified records inventory, cumulative anecdotal record scale, checklist, or freaks, samantalang wala pa kaming hawak na records? Pwede. Kasi kapag meron tayong coordination sa mga previous advisors, if the child or student would actually be enrolled or regular student siya, categorized as a regular student, po pwedeng mangyari. Magtanong tayo sa previous advisor. Sabi nga, PM is the key. O kaya during your consultations with your fellow teachers per level, PM is the key. Alright? Simple records muna. Meron kang notebook, anong pangalan ng bata, anong case, and then ano ang iyong ginawang intervention. Okay? Ang inventory initially na gagamitin natin ngayon Kung wala pang na-forward sa inyong records ng mga bata, po pwede naman ang master list, ang SF5 o yung mga records ng mga bata na po pwedeng i-share ng mga teachers. Anecdotal or cumulative records, pwede natin gamitin yan kapag nagbibigay na tayo ng tasks, assignments doon sa mga bata. No? Besides doon sa mga modules na kanilang gagawin, mga worksheets or activity sheets na tinatawag, ang anecdotal records pwede manggaling din sa kanilang mga portfolio. O kaya yung mga observed behavior mo during your conduct of classes through your Zoom meetings or any other platform na gagamitin. Okay? I hope I made myself clear kung paano natin yung gagamitin ang modified forms of records, inventory, checklist, and all of that. Simpleng checklist lang naman, hindi naman natin kinakailangan na pag-arbuing mabuti kasi mas simple, mas madali mong ma-identify ang needs na dapat natin bigyan ng intervention. So kagaya ng nasabi ko kanina, portfolio with reflections coming from the cumulative records na isasubmit ng ating mga bata, plus ang recorded observation mo at interview ay isasama natin dyan. Okay, reminders to teachers. Once na meron tayong special cases na nai-process natin, hindi natin siya pwedeng i-submit o ipakita kung kani-kanino lang. Pwede po bang ipakita sa advisor? Alright, kasi advisor should know, level chair should know. Alright, but then again, we have to practice yung sinatawag natin confidentiality. Kasi po pwede tayong magka-problema. Lalo na kapag ang ginamit ninyong medium ay ang internet o messenger o kung ano man, may screenshot yan, at tapos nagkamali ka ng send, magkakaproblema tayong malaki, legally. Okay? I hope I made myself clear on this practical assessment tool. So don't you worry kasi hindi mo naman kinakailangan lumabas ng bahay para gawin ang observation, para gawin ang interview, para pag-aralan ng modified forms or records or inventory mo, o para pag-aralan ng portfolio with reflection o ang profile ng isang bata. Kasi ang profile naman is summary. Dito ako natutuwa sa mga teachers sa profiling kasi minsan merong mga bata na maagang magbigay ng mga birth certificates and other forms no, na hinihingi. Yung card, pag doon pa lang makikita natin ang summary, no, yung kanyang deportment grade, pwede mo siyang i-evaluate. Isasama mo na rin siya sa records of observation. And it would be very useful really for you to identify kung ano ang magiging felt needs ng isang bata para ma-correct natin or mabigyan natin ng tinatawag nating intervention program. Okay? Next. So from the internet, o kaya naman sa iba't ibang media platforms, pwede tayong makakuha ng mga resources. Kasi syempre, aside from these practical assessment tools, pwede rin tayong gumamit ng iba pang assessment tools na tinatawag na pwede natin gamitin para sa pag-a-assess ng mga estudyante. Okay, yung nakuha kong 10, pwedeng gawing 15, o pwede rin gawing 20. Depende kung paano ninyo pagaganahin ang inyong creativity. But you have to make sure na clear ang instructions at the same time, malinaw din itong naibababa sa end ng mga magulang. Okay? So, dadandahanin ko lang itong aking PowerPoint projection kasi may sinasabi siya na mag-help. Alright? Eto na. Malapit na siya. Okay. Here are some ways, no? 10 creative ideas, self-assessment ideas na applicable, pwede yang sa bata, sa grade school, or sa preschool, at pwede rin naman siya sa high school. Applicable din naman siya. Magagawa po ba yan sa bahay kung sakali? Wala naman pong internet. Sabi ko nga may ways and means. May mga kapitbahay yan na nagpe-Facebook. Pag na-PM natin yan, may clear instructions lang. Gusto mong gawin Tagalog or English. O pagsamahin mo ang instruction, tapos pwedeng picture yan, o di kukulayan lang siguro ng bata, o kaya naman chechikan, depende sa instructions mo, o pwede namang mangyari yan, o pwede natin mai-execute ng maayos. Yung emoji worksheet. Okay? So from the term itself, nakikita natin, tuwang-tuwa ang mga bata dyan sa emoji na yan. Kahit naman ako, tuwang-tuwa ako dyan pag nakikita ko ang emoji kasi there is something in it na talaga namang nakaka-catch up ng attention. Right? Also teachers, they are fond of emojis. Minsan nagagamit din natin ng emojis para hindi lang ma-express ang emotions ng bata or understanding ng bata. No? Yung appreciation din natin. Parang reward system din. O pag may happy face, very good, you did well. O, iipo din ngayon ng bata yan. So tuwang-tuwa mga bata dyan. Kaya simpleng chips lang. I remember one of my coworkers sa math, pinag-aagawan ng kanyang chips. Kasi yung iba yung chips niya may star, yung iba naman merong emojis din. So nag-e-enjoy ang mga bata dyan. Alright. So it could actually help you identify whether or not ang isang estudyante ay natuto o kaya naman yung moods niya with regards to how you present the class or the subject that is, pwede rin natin gamitin yan to assess emojis. Next. Nagmamadali yung aking nasa number 1 pa lang ako. Gusto na niyang magmadali. Okay, number 2 naman tayo. Green, yellow, red codes. No? Ito ginagawa rito ng mga teachers, hindi lang sa preschool, maging sa high school. Ay, lalo na very much effective to sa mga preschoolers. Okay. We have to give each student 3 cards, green, yellow, and red card. Just like the emojis in the worksheet, magbibigay tayo ng card. Colored green, kung saan ang sinasabi ng green colored card, I get it, I can do this. Alright, myself and even explain it to others. Pag naman yellow, I need a little more help. Pag naman red, I don't get it, I need a lot of help. Pwede bang gamitin yan since virtual ang classes? Pwedeng-pwede. Kasi pwede, suggestive ito. Pagka kasi sa regular classes, mas madali yan may po-provide yan sa klase physically. Iaabot mo by groupings yan, meron kang leader, o kaya kung kaya ng budget, ibibigay mo sa lahat ng mga bata. Otherwise, ikaw mismo sa isang malaking kartulina o matigas na papel, alagay mo ang red, green, and yellow, pwedeng tuturo-turo lang nila, o kaya naman ay papipilahin mo kung saan sila banda doon mas okay. Naintindihan ba ang lesson? Punta sa green. Naintindihan ba ang lesson o hindi? O kailangan pa ng assistance? Punta sa yellow. O kaya naman lahat nagpunta sa red, nakakatakot pag lahat nagsabi ng red kasi I need a lot of help. Ibig sabihin, teachers needs to reflect. Hindi naintindihan ng bata. So ang chances na baka mag-breakdown, ulitin natin ang set of instructions. Okay? So again, suggestive po pwedeng i-modify ang mga activities na ito. Next. Nagmamadali ulit siya. Number 3 pa lang ako. Okay? So for number 3, self-assessment questions. Ito, nakikita ko to sa mga preschool teachers at saka sa mga lower year levels sa basic ed from grades 1 to 3. Very effective siya. Minsan pinipost ng teacher sa wall nila doon para makita kung ang mga bata ay naiintindihan ng instructions o kaya naman ay may mga tantrums. Kasi chine-check ni teacher yan o okay ka lang ba? So bibigay yung mga strips of paper minsan tapos sinasagot ng mga bata. So somehow it helps us analyze the type of emotion and understanding that a child has through these self-assessment questions. By color codes yan, nakikita ko sa mga lower year levels. For high school kasi medyo serious ng konti. Pero it is really helpful as well for high school students. Okay? Ito po pwede natin modifications for high school. Number 3 pa lang po kami. Wag niyo po muna. Wala pa ang time. So ito siya for high school. Tara! Oops, nawala. Bibigyan lang natin ng QR code ng mga high school. Okay na sila dyan. Okay? Tapos spin lang ang wheel. May apps tayo pwede mga gamitin for self-assessment questions. And then, ma-check na natin, may re-record na natin na si ganitong bata ay hindi pala na masyadong naintindihan o hindi na-appreciate at all yung lesson. Most probably, baka hindi tayo naging sensitive sa kanyang gender o hindi tayo naging sensitive sa kanyang emotion o pinagdadaanan during that day na kayo ay nag-conduct ng classes. Alright? Number 4. Number 4. Ayan. Exit slips. Okay? Tickets yan, exit tickets. These are great ways to quickly gauge students' understanding at the end of a lesson. So it would give you a snapshot of how well students understood today's lesson. Kung makikita mo, did you understand today's lessons? Makikita natin ang mga facial expressions. Doon sa baba, makikita nyo rin ang saklap, I have no idea. So anong gagawin ni teacher? Magre-react ba tayo pag sinabi niya, Ma'am, I have no idea? O kaya sinabi ng bata, ang bilis niyo po kasi magsalita. Okay, paano natin iti-take yan? We have to reflect. And then, pwede naman kayong mag-one-on-one siguro. O kaya naman, bago mo i-one-on-one, pwedeng mag-reflect na muna personally as a teacher. Para ma-address natin, bakit kaya walang nakuha? Ang haba-haba ng sinabi ko, baka naman naglalag lang yung kanyang internet connection o kaya sa end mo. Alright? Things like those. Alright. Next. Ayan. Number 5. Okay. Networking for help. Okay? Kahit na regular classes tayo, may physical attendance ni teacher and students, pwedeng gamitin to at pwede rin natin gamitin ito kahit nasa panahon ng COVID. Basta we just have to make sure, no? Or rather, ma-modify natin based doon sa kung paano nyo na-analyze yung tempo ng klase na handle ninyo. Kasi ang bawat tempo ng klase na handle natin, iba-iba ang ano niyan, ang mga moods niyan, iba-iba rin ang pagtanggap niyan sa mga klase or subjects or even kung paano ang approach ni teachers. Okay? Alright, so we can find a green, find a yellow, or find a red, katulad ng nauna kanina, para malaman kung sino ang mga students or classmates na po pwedeng hinihingian ng tulong kung sakali may felt difficulties or felt needs ang isang bata. Okay? Next, selfie. Usong-uso si selfie. Alright? Pero hindi selfie na may picture, kundi hashtag selfie. So this one, strategies used for math ito. So it's like a reflection, evaluation of students, evaluating themselves or reflecting their work. No? For math class daw, binigyan ng acoustic of meaning yung kanyang course. Selfie stands for showed my work, explained my answers, lots of math vocabulary used, found multiple solutions, reserved through the problems, eliminated careless errors. Okay? Pwede yan sa ibang subject. Kung gusto mo hashtag English, hashtag math, or whatever it is, na pwedeng gawa ng meaning para ang mga bata ay magkaroon ng expression, no? May express ng maayos ang kanilang acceptance doon sa bawat subject na ating itinuturo. Alright, next. Selfie, emoticon ulit. Ito yung Snapchat. Siguro kahit ng mga teachers, tuwan-tuwa din yan sa mga emoticons na makikita sa Snapchats. No? Wala naman yatang hindi natuwa dyan. Kasi nakakaaliw naman talaga. So gamit ka lang ng Snapchat doon, papa-selfie, pakita ng mga bata kung ano-ano kanilang pagtanggap sa lesson. Kung happy face man yan, o kung nakasimangot yan, o may mga tumutulong luha, ano pa, nakasimangot, nagagalit. Okay, pag nakikita ba nating nagagalit o parang nalilito ang ipinakitang facial expression ng bata, how do we take it? Magagalit din ba tayo? O ipapakita din natin ng Snapchat natin na nakasimangot din? Okay, na may monster figure doon sa background. Okay? So, we have to take those things positively. Kahit na minsan sa ego natin as teacher siguro, no? Medyo may inis factor. Ang kulit-kulit ng batang ito, pati ba naman dito sa Snapchat na hinihingi mo para for the sake of your discussion, meron pa din kalokohang kasama. Pero possible talaga yan at nangyayari talaga yan. So we have to be very positive about it. Alright, next, Instagram stories. Alright, Instagram stories. Instagram stories. Alright. Ayan. So gagawa lang Instagram stories. Ask them to create an Instagram story for today's lesson. So what will be the highlights of the lesson? So again, hindi naman kinakailangan mag-ano ka pa ng Instagram since pwede ka namang magganyan lang, picture po yan. tapos palakihin mo, i-enlarge mo, i-send mo through PM or email, tapos dyan nila isusulat. Papicturean mo na lang, pabalik sa'yo. So kung gusto mo lang naman siyang i-adapt. Otherwise, kung ayaw mo, marami pang pamamaraan na po pwede natin gamitin. Alright? So, nandito ang after ng Instagram at Snapchat, lesson tweets. Okay? Yan, no? Yung symbol or yung sinya ng today's lesson tweet. Pagawan mo sila, what did you learn today? Did you find it tricky or you had fun? So kapag meron tayong napansin dyan na something negative or very unlikely, just set expectations mo, no? Ite-take ba natin siya negatively? Gamitin mo siya, again, na cumulative record para maisama mo kung paano mo siya matutulungan na mai-correct ang kanyang sarili na mag-express ng tama. So just let the students fill the papers for those who don't have Twitter. Ako nakikita ko parang na-excite din akong gamitin to at baka gamitin ko siya eventually kasi ang cute today's lesson tweet. Ihanda ko lang ang sarili ko na hindi memes ang makita ko at walang picture ng mga tanos-tanos dyan na ang teacher ang nakikita, pati yung mukha ni teacher ay naandyan. So iwasan din natin. Or kung sakaling may ganon, matuto tayong mag-process because those things are real. I'm telling you people, those things really happen. Those things really happen. Alright, pair and share. So most of you, ginagawa naman natin ito talaga. Just group discussions. Maganda to sa physical setup ng before normal natin, pero pwede din natin gamitin ang pair and share kasi may mga messenger din naman ng mga bata. So makakapag-usap din naman yan and then ipo-forward na lang sa teachers concerned. Pwedeng sa chat box kung ano ang kanilang mga ideas or questions, no, that we need to clarify just in case na hindi siya malinaw. Okay, so those are 10 practical ways on practical activities na pwede natin gamitin, no? Basta ipapaliwanag nyo lang sa mga magulang ang mechanics at instructions and you need to give details. Yung rules ninyo, yung restrictions ninyo, yung timetable ninyo, kailangan mai-communicate din natin yan sa mga bata at sa mga magulang para hindi tayo ma-disappoint sa mga outputs na dapat nilang ipapakita. Okay? Now, here is an example of social emotional developmental checklists for kids and teens. Alright? Simplified lang siya. Actually, nanghingi ako ng permiso sa kidsmatters.com. Nag-subscribe ako sa kanya kung papayagan ako. Kasi social worker siya from the other side of the world. Yan. Para at least magkaroon tayo ng pagkakataong gumawa ng sarili nating checklist or teacher-made checklist, may pattern natin dito o mas may improve pa natin, mas okay. Kasi kung mas simple, mas madali nating mai-implement kasi mas makatotohanan siya. Alright? So pag nag-modify tayo, dapat smart din. Simple lang siya. Specific din kung kaya ninyo. Talagang measuring specific objectives. Attainable din siya. Ano pa yung R? Relevant naman doon sa gusto mong ma-achieve and then time-bound talaga siya dapat. At higit sa lahat, actionable dahil kayang-kaya mong i-implement at kayang-kayang i-digest ng mga bata at ibigay sa atin ang sinasabi natin mga output. Okay? Ito ang social and emotional checklist per age bracket ito, no? Although may mga pare-pareho ng pagkakapare-pareho naman siya. So limang dimensions lang siya. Self-management skills, self-awareness skills, social awareness skills, responsible decision-making skills, as relationship skills stipulated na dyan. So hindi na tayo mahihirapan na mag-identify pa. However, kasi ang teacher talaga merong clinical eye yan, no? Or minsan magaling mag-identify lalo na yung mga seasoned teachers. Lalo na yung nasa lower level din, ano? Iba ang kanilang mga gifts when it comes to classroom management styles or approaches. So tingnan natin, sa age ng 3 years old, nursery siguro to, no? Nursery kinder 1, kung uso pa siya. Anong titingnan mo? Ang bata can express emotions or learning to express emotions. Check. mo lang. Kung hindi, edi hindi. Pag walang check yan, ibig sabihin, yun ang bibigyan mo ng pansin. Learning to talk about strong feelings. Ano ba yung mga strong feelings? Nagagalit? Ano pa? Oh, natatakot? Oh, and then yung expressions of those things. All right. Becoming more independent ba? Nakakapag-dress, puts on shoes, and so on and so forth. Self-awareness skills. Able to identify others' feelings na ba? Besides sad, mad, and glad. Nakakapag-express ba ng likes and dislikes? Has strong sense of self. Nakakapag-identify na ba ng gender? And then, tanong na ba sila sa parents for helps or help that is? Are they more aware of other people's feelings pag 3 years old? Alright? Responsible decision-making skills, nakaka-connect na ba sila ng behaviors to certain circumstances or consequences? That I believe hindi pa kasi nga mga bata pa yan. So we need to assist. May mga cues at prodding na ginagawa. So po pwede tayong humingi ng tulong sa mga magulang. Pwede po ba nating i-print ito? O i-modify natin? O pwede nating i-modify. Okay, next. Let's see naman para sa 4 years old. Halos pareho lang din siya for 3 years old. Yun nga lang, kaya na nilang mag-express ng certain feelings. If not all feelings, at least nakakapagsabi na sad siya or happy siya. Better able to manage impulses. Nagtatantrums pa yan, nangagaw-agaw pa yan minsan ng toys kasi akala nila kanila. Follow simple directions, pwede. Interested in new experiences. Meron na ba silang view or notion of self as someone with a body, mind, and feelings at age 4? Pero dapat na rin natin silang binibigyan kahit nasa pinakamababaw na pamamaraan. Yung concept na yan. So yung social awareness, ang focus, empathy for others, and then how he or she sees himself as compared with other kids. And then beginning to understand that everyone thinks and acts like them or share them the same beliefs. And then responsible decision making, understanding na ba yan ng right from wrong? Yung iba siguro depende sa developmental milestones ng bata, but basically in general, kailangan pa rin yan ng assistance ng mga magulang at ng mga teachers. Okay? Next, para naman sa 5 years old, asan? Ayan. Mas higher siya ng konti. Mas higher. Nakakapag-describe na yan ng feelings niya. At nasasabi na rin niya kung bakit niya nararamdaman ng ganong pakiramdam. Nakakapag-isip-isip na rin before acting, konti-konti, pero kailangan pa rin ng guidance. So, able to wait for their turns na rin yan. Okay, self-awareness skills. Notice the difference between self and others. So, kung mapapansin natin, medyo tumataas. Sabi nga natin kasi, progressive. So, i-expect natin that by that age, nakakaroon na ng mga improvements doon sa self-concept ang bata. So, kung hindi man niya matutunan ng personal yan, tutulungan natin mga adults paano nila ma-acquire ang certain behavior. So, for preschoolers, NKP, that is, we may make use of that scale or rather checklist, no? Combining it o modify mo pa or masisimplify mo pa, depende sa nakikita mong needs, pwedeng-pwede rin naman siyang gagawin. Alright, next, para naman sa 7 to 8 years old, ayan, emphasize natin, meron na silang coping skills when upset. Minsan yung iba umiiyak, pero yung iba nakakatakot pag nag-act out negatively. So, i-correct natin siya. So, kapag nakita natin ang coping skills nila ay medyo undesirable, we have to take note of that. Kasi ang target natin basically is to target that behavior that is needing intervention. No? Kung hindi man natin kakayanin yan, at napapansin natin na medyo ibang needs at a higher level yung kanilang manifested behaviors, huwag tayong matakot na isulat ng observation basta hindi natin siya i-label at hindi conclusive ang inyong observation. Take note of that, ha? Non-conclusive, non-labeling. Wala tayong karapatang gawin ang conclusive diagnosis, lalo't higit sa lahat ang labeling. Kasi doon nagkakaroon ng problema minsan ng teachers at saka ang parents eh. Pag nilabel mo, nakikipag-usap ka sa magulang. Pagkatapos very unconscious ka, nakapagbitaw ka ng salita na hindi niya nagustuhan. Kasi feeling ng magulang, nilabel mo agad na ang batang ito ay ganito. So may feeling silang hindi maganda na na-stereotype ang bata o nilabel mo as ganyan o diniagnose mo ang ganyan o questioning na sino ka, ikaw ba ay doktor or something else. So hindi nagkakos siya ng conflict between teachers and parents. So you see, this is working with the behaviors of children or learners ay multidisciplinary at saka kinakailangan ng support group system. Kasi hindi naman natin concern ang ego ni mother o ni teacher kung hindi pa paano tutulungan ng bata for an effective intervention program. Kaya pag tinanong tayo, anong intervention ang ginawa mo? O ipakita mo yung mga records mo and based from your records, ano ang mga ginawa mo to help? At dahil sa level mo ay hindi mo makaya, kaya inaabot mo, nire-reach out mo si mother at kung sino yung next in line na pwede nating hingian ng support or tulong up to the extent na pwede tayo mag-refer. And those cumulative records observations na gagamitin mo ay magiging malaking tulong para matulungan natin ang bata na ma-correct at mabigyan ng tamang behavior intervention or approaches. So together we could work things out effectively. Alright, ano pa ang pwede nating i-highlight? Yung social awareness skills, may abstract concepts na ba yan sa concept ng justice, kunyari? Ano pa? Yung love or yung hate. Okay, so you need to check, teachers, kasi kilala naman natin ang ating estudyante except for newcomers na estudyante. So we need to do some observations. But for those students na regular na nating nakikita, nakakasalamuha, kahit na new normal tayo ngayon, magkakaroon pa rin tayo ng pamamaraan on how to help. Kasi mangyayari yan, napakahirap, very challenging ang ating setup. Ang hirap mag-reach out. Feeling ng teacher, ginawa na ang lahat pero kulang pa rin. But then again, wala tayong magagawa kasi ang ating existence as teachers is to be able to reach out and help and teach students para maging successful in their professional endeavors. Now, kapag naman naituro natin yan at naset natin ng rules, malinaw sa mga bata at sa mga magulang na communicate natin ng maayos, meron tayong support group system, mababawasan ang sakit ng ulo natin. Okay? Totoo yan. Kasi kapag nagtanong ka, kinapus ka ng resources, lalo na yung pagtatanungan mo o kaya kasi walang Facebook account or any other things used for communication, magsi-seek out ka lang kahit sa LGU, kilala yan, mabibigyan ka ng information. Okay? For 7 and 8, it relies on adults for security pa rin. Pero at least kahit pa paano natuturuan na nila na self-reliance, paunting kahit basic lang siya. Responsible decision-making skills. So, kaya na rin mag-identify ng pros and cons on different occasions or options. So, nakaka-identify na rin yan ng consequences for actions. Kung minsan tayo pa nga ang mga kinokorek ng mga batang. Basta open lang tayo sa kanilang mga statements o kaya naman mga responses. Share opinions with peers, able to resolve conflicts with friends, and so on. Now, let's see the next one. Yan. Saan na ba yun? Tapos na tayo sa 7 to 8. So, sa 9 and 10, eto tayo. Oy, 9 and 10 pa lang po. 9 and 10. Ayan. So, wag na natin masyadong i-emphasize ang self-management skills ba yung category ng emotions kasi nakakapag-express na sila ng kahit paano. Nag-explore na rin yan ng likes and dislikes. May strong sense na rin yan ng what's fair or not. Meron na rin sensitivity sa feelings ng iba. Meron na rin interest yan sa current events and other social issues. And then knows how to choose best solution to a problem. Then somehow they can analyze decision to see if it is working. So nakakapag-respond na rin sa peers. Alright, in other words, kung alin dyan ang walang check, pwede nating i-consider siya as weakness. Alright, possible ba na lahat yan ay check? Very good. Possible ba na lahat ay walang check? That's not good. Pero possible din, kaya lang nakakatakot yun kapag lahat yan ay wala o lahat siya na yan. Kasi something is wrong and we need to do something about it. Okay. Next. For teenagers, 9 and 10 yan. This one is for 11 to 12 years old or 13 years old. There. Okay, ang tingnan na lang natin, pagka kasi 11 to 30 years old, meron na rin yung learning to value and accept others people's points of view, nakikipag-contest na rin yan, marunong na rin silang mag-analyze, no? Tapos minsan nakakapagbigay na rin sila ng suggestions. Nakakagulat din kung minsan yan, lalo na pag hindi ka sanay. Siyempre, sabi nga natin, development is progressing. So, i-expect na natin na through experiences and through significant persons na mag-guide sa kanila, makikita natin ang manifestations ng certain behaviors. Paano po ma'am kapag hindi pa? Ibig sabihin nito, hindi pa nagmamature ang bata. Medyo mabagal ang developmental milestones na meron siya. So we need to check lalo. Yun ay isa sa points to consider na kinakailangan nating bigyan ng pansin. Alright? Next. For 14 to 16 years old, medyo higher na rin dyan. Pero dito yung relationship skills nila, meron na silang sense of wanting to be popular. Tapos they make friends because they wanted somehow to feel important. No? Yung strong sense ng acceptance, may expect mo from 14 to 16 years old. Yung loyalty to peer group is being observed. Seeking acceptance and trust from peers din, meron na rin sila niyan. So kasi yung self-management skills niyan, medyo mas sufficient na sila ng konti. So i-evolve, sabi nga, nagkakaroon na ng improvement sa end ng mga teenagers, 14 to 16 years old. O edi lalo na sa 16 to 18 years old students natin. Right? For 16 to 18 years old. Ito, kapag hindi natin na-guide ng maayos ang mga bata, magkakaroon tayo, magmamanifest yan later on doon sa kanilang future, personal, and professional endeavors. Kasi hindi niya naitamang mabuti o nai-correct ang sarili niya, kaya at some later point or time in his or her life, magmamanifest ang mga behavior na yan. So, if much as we could reach out and help, with our support group system, mas okay kasi malaking may tutulong nito para sa mga bata for their future successes. And then sa level mo, as a teacher, per level, kapag na-establish mo ang connection, strong connection sa inyong estudyante, hindi ka mahihirapan kailanman na mag-assess ng mga behavior needs sa mga bata kasi eventually pag na-establish mo, especially yung rapport na tinatawag o kaya naman yung somehow special feeling ng connectedness with your students kahit hindi ka magtanong. Sila na mismo ang kusang mag-open up kung ano ang kanilang mga felt needs na kinakailangan ng intervention. So kapag successful tayo, o if not us, kapag successful sila, na-develop ang self-management skills, na-develop ang self-awareness skills, na-develop ang social awareness skills, na-develop ang responsible decision-making skills and relationship skills, wala na tayong hindi tayo masyadong mahihirapan. Hindi natin makikita sa social media ang mga negative manifestations of behavior dahil sa unresolved conflicts during those times na need natin silang i-reach out. Siyempre, kasama mga magulang doon, first and foremost, mga magulang. Kasi sila ang unang nakakakita niyan. But then again, minsan pag working parents yan, longing sa attention ang bata, sa'yo magpapapansin ng bata. So, i-record mo. Now, may restrictions ito ha, na hindi naman to pwedeng sobrang overly familiar ang mga bata. Kasi pag overly familiar din yan, mahihirapan ka na rin makita ang objectivity ng ginagawa mong intervention program regards to social emotional learning and development that is. Kasi hindi ka na magiging effective pag once na naging subjective ka na because of over-familiarity. Napakahirap nang i-restrict o ilayo sa'yo ang bata kasi may emotional attachment na yan. Okay? So dapat laging professional relationship. Alright? At yung restrictions mo, wag mo kakalimutan kasi mahirap din namang suluhin mo ang problema dahil sa kagustuhan mo matulungan siya. So dapat objectively, may forward din natin yan. A-assess ang bata, may forward natin at may endorse sa mga tamang tao, makakahingi tayo ng tamang tulong kasi wag nating kakalimutan na may mga legal implications ang bawat kilos na gagawin natin. So importante ang pagre-record, importante ang pagre-report, importante ang pakikipag-usap. Whatever negative emotions na marinig natin sa mga magulang, kung kaya mong i-take lang as much as possible kasi perhaps students are needing help, no? Kasi sa bahay, baka yun ang kulang. At ikaw ang makapagpupuno. Okay? So, those were some pointers. Again, suggestions lang siya. Kung pwede natin siyang i-modify, kung pwede natin siyang dagdagan, kung pwede natin siyang mas simplihan pa. Pero kung gusto mo ng standardized, no? Ang 16PF kasi nakakatulong yan to identify personality profile of students. Pwede yan. So mag-seek out tayo ng help. Meron tayong mga partners na po pwede nating lapitan para tayo ay matulungan. Okay? So these are the references. Now, please remember people, where there is no guidance, people falls. No? But in an abundance of counselors, there is safety. So pag nag-guide natin ng maayos sa mga bata, less sakit ng ulo sa end mo as teacher. Kasi makikinig sa yan, taas mo lang kamay mo, taas mo kilay mo, ngumiti ka lang ng kakaibang ngiti na instructions ang gusto mong i-highlights, no? So very less ang sakit ng ulo at stress sa end natin. At pag nag-guide natin sila ng maayos, so makakapag-expect tayo dyan ng successful na self-management actions emanating from the students themselves. Okay? Sabi ni Aristotle, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. So paano natin i-educate ang ating heart? So through the use of social and emotional learning intervention program by utilizing yung mga basic man siya or non-standard assessment tools or initial diagnostic tools or materials na pwede natin magamit in helping out developing resiliency, no? Resilient youngsters or resilient learners or resilient and responsible Filipino citizens. So thank you so much. Pwede na po akong mag-entertain ng questions kung meron pong mga questions or clarification.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let us proceed to the question and answer portion. Our first question is from Joy Ablaza. Kung relatives lang po ang kasama ng bata sa bahay dahil ang parents ay working abroad, paano po ma-implement or magiging effective ang diagnosis?
Ang teachers kasi, i-expect na natin yan, kasi talagang usually ang naiiwan mga parents or guardians. Kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, yung observation mo, i-record mo, tapos pwede mo namang mag-set ka ng meeting doon sa kanyang guardian para may discuss mo sa kanya kung ano yung mga observed behaviors, and then magtatanong ka din sa kanya, ano ba ang mga manifested behaviors ng bata doon sa bahay. Tapos tuwing kailan yon nagtitrigger, i-record mo ulit siya. Tapos if you could set an appointment doon sa mga magulang abroad, na kung pwedeng makapag-interview ka rin, basta gagamit lang tayo ng mga tamang terms na hindi naman sasakit ng puso o aatakihin sa puso ng mga magulang, at least ma-inform natin sila na meron tayong mga activities ang gamitin natin para matulungan natin ang mga bata na maging resilient. Okay, pwedeng halimbawa, mag-undergo siya ng values reformation program applicable for high school kasi medyo mas mahabang mataas na level rather that is for high school. Basta i-inform mo ang mga parents through emails, hihingi ka ng permission doon o kaya ang magiging mediator mo ay yung guardians. Kasi maganda na nagkakaintindihan kayo para hindi tayo mate-technical. So hihingi ka ng information from the parents. If not, immediately sa guardian, ire-record mo siya. Tapos pwede mo namang makita, ma-observe ang bata kung magsuzoom meeting kayo. Kasi hindi natin ini-encourage ang physical na pagpunta. Pero kung kakayanin mo at sa palagay mo safe ka, you may do so as an extended service. Pero kung hindi mo naman kailangan ipagpilitan o gawin ang physical na pagpunta o pag-reach out. So through emails, messengers, or video calls. O pwede yan.
Thank you
Okay na
very
po.
much, ma'am. Our second question is from Christina Malonzo. What are the ways to improve the social and emotional learnings of our learners now that we are using the new learning modalities?
Okay. Marami tayo mga pamamaraan, no? Nakita natin kanina yung mga simple ways and means kung yung pinakita natin mga Snapchats, yung mga uh, virtual na communications or meetings with our students, at saka at the same time yung mga paggamit ng iba't ibang platforms din kasi talaga naman kung minsan hindi tayo hindi natin kaya na pumunta physically para mag-reach out. So we could make use of different media, or rather medium, to reach out our students. Kung hindi natin ma-reach out, kasi parang ayaw naman niyang makipag-reach out, merong mga friends niya na po pwede mong kausapin. PM mo lang, tapos may mga magulang din niya na baka close doon, kaibigan niya, kaklase na niya, kaibigan pa yung mga magulang o yung family, pwede rin natin silang i-reach out doon. So make useful rather i-stretch natin ang use ng social media platforms into something useful. Pero mas maganda na bago mo gamitin yon, yung mga restrictions, lalo na yung mga legal implications niyan, kinakailangan ay lagi nating i-consider. Otherwise, technically, magkakaproblema tayo. And bago natin gagawin palagi yun, ang kagaya ng sinasabi ko, palagi nating hihingiin ang consent ng mga magulang o ng mga guardians. Pag sinabi ng guardian na hindi ko po alam, pwede po ba na sabihin ko muna sa magulang, then that we have to wait. But then you don't have to forget to make follow-ups. Kasi pag di mo finalo up yan, tapos nagka-problema ng malala ang bata, tapos tatanungin ka ngayon, anong ginawa mo, magkakaroon talaga ng mga issues and concerns. So, i-extend natin, i-stretch out natin ang social media platforms sa positive at productive na pamamaraan in reaching out, in implementing our social emotional learning programs or activities.
Thank you for that, ma'am. And our last question is from Lagrimas Banyares. Ma'am, can a story relayed to another classmate be used in place of interview as an assessment tool?
Stories, minsan ginagamit din talaga siya. Kaya lang, mahirap din kasi pag stories, mga symbols na ginagamit. Kung kaya mo technically na ma-identify through stories, pwede rin naman natin siyang gamitin. Pwede. Basta hindi gossip yung stories, ha? Kasi mahirap pag based on gossips yan. Mate-technical din tayo dyan. So, kailangan ang gagawin natin pamamaraan, palaging nasa legal na aspeto, recorded, at nakahingi ka ng parental consent or consent. Consent. Pwedeng-pwede. Basta yung restrictions ay alam mo at alam mo kung paano may execute at paano may interpret. Okay? Yung hinihingi o yung mga set goals or objectives na tina-target.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That's all the questions we have for now. Any last reminders to our viewers for today po?
So again, I would like to reiterate, napakalaking tulong ng social and emotional learning program. Kung meron tayong na-experience na mga problems doon sa behavior na manifested ng mga bata, virtual man siya or kung minsan nire-reach out kayo sa anumang pamamaraan, we try to reach out, wag natin silang tatalikuran. Kasi baka kayo na yung last sort. Ang tawag doon, last sort ng help, no? Na hinihingi o kinakailangan nila to save themselves. So para makatulong naman tayo makabawas doon sa cases ng mga mental health problems. Baka yung initial diagnosis natin mag-lead to a deeper diagnosis na medical or psychopathological in nature na. So mahirap. So if we could reach out to them, then we must do. At least as teachers, no, we are tawag dito, it is one of our purpose or mission or calling to reach out and help para at least kung matulungan natin silang maging successful in managing themselves and emotions and then clearing up their own perceptions in life, yung outlook nilang magiging positive sa buhay, mababawasan ang krimen na meron tayo sa ating paligid. And at the same time, mas marami tayong makikitang successful uh, successful sa personal and professional lives ng ating mga kasamahan, ng ating mga estudyante, ng ating mga magulang, or ng ating bansa sa kabuuan. So kung meron mga tanong pa po or questions, I am more than willing to accommodate. Bigay ko na lang po sa inyo siguro yung contact number or ang aking email ad para po kung sakaling gusto pa rin po mag-reach out or magtanong, willing naman po ako to extend pa po, to help, extend the help. Okay. So good luck to us teachers. Sana may natutunan at the same time, magamit natin siya productively for this school year 2020-2021 at sa susunod pang mga school years. So,
thank you very much, ma'am.
And thank you.
There we have it. In behalf of VIBAL Group Incorporated, I would like to thank our speaker for today for this very eye-opening and insightful learning session. It is an honor to have you with us today, ma'am. And
Thank
to
you
all
so
our
much.
VIBAL viewers, all thanks to you for your continuous patronage to our daily learning session. Don't forget to register to get your e-certificate of participation. We encourage you to subscribe and watch on our official VIBAL Facebook and YouTube channel. Muli, maraming salamat at magandang